What's up, everybody? And today we're doing something interesting. We're going to be talking about this new drone carrier that we're getting here in Britain. We're going to talk all about this. This is a piece of news from Forces News. Very, very interesting. Actually, is there an article? There is an article to go along with it, so we're going to be looking at the article as well. Very interesting bit of news. I've got a lot to talk about it. But before we get started, let's get through some of the announcements. Firstly, if you haven't already checked out Chug, if you don't want to drink from an absolute legendary drinking vessel like this, then skip ahead, because this thing is fantastic. 10% off, link down below. Support a small business here in the UK, genuinely making brilliant products. I'm one of them people, as I get older, and I don't know if you agree with me with this, as I get older, I'm starting to look for products that just last longer. Like, I'm fed up of this quick stuff, like Primark clothing and stuff like that. I'm trying to buy clothing, like I've been getting like Fjallraven and a bunch of other stuff, cast iron pans, and I'm trying to get things that just have longevity in them. And I think it stems from a long line of thinking and philosophy. That's why I like books, because they last long, and I buy like nice edition of the books because they last long. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. High quality stuff right here. This is going to last you. 10% off, link down below. You know me, I don't really do sponsors on this channel, but when I do, it's because I believe in them. Anything else I need to say? If you haven't already, check out Morale. I have got a big announcement that I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you yet or not. I kind of want to just tell you. Maybe I'll tell you on a live stream this Friday. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. But stay tuned for both an announcement for Morale and Original Human. It affects both businesses. I'm excited to tell you. But for now, let's shut up. Let's check out this video that Forces News has put out about what effectively is an aircraft carrier, but just for drones, right? It's a new aircraft carrier that the British are going to get, but it's specifically for drones. Now, I have been talking about this leap in technology for quite a while now. And let me kind of outline what I've been saying for a while. We've got Gen 5 aircraft, right? Your F-35 here in the UK. In America, you've got like the F-22 as well, right? You've got these incredible aircraft, and they're making Gen 6 aircraft, which are going to be phenomenal, apparently, which is really cool. And I do think there is a place for what's the word I'm looking for? Vehicles? Man-mounted vehicles? Is that what I'm trying to say? Man-controlled, human-controlled vehicles and aircraft. I think there's a place for that. However, I think we're going to get to a point where it's like 90-odd% drones. I think it's going to get to that point. Even fighter aircraft, I think, eventually will turn to drones. And there's many different reasons for that, but the big one is you're not putting lives at risk. And I'm going to give the analogy that I gave in yesterday's video, where we're on this precipice of technology where you've got like the Sony Walkman CD players that are just, they're legendary. They're always going to be great. CDs are always going to be around if you need them. They're going to be there. But then all of a sudden there's a jump straight to MP3 players, right? And you've got things in between. You've got the mini disc player. You've got all these cool things in between, right? But the truth is, the main jump is from a Sony Walkman to like an iPod. And I think that the what I'm trying to say is that the Sony Walkman is, you know, the F-35s, man-mounted, man vehicles, right? People are actually flying them. We've got pilots. And then you're going straight to MP3s, which is just the drones. There are going to be things in between, and there's always going to be a use case for classic physical media. But MP3 is where we're going. And that's what That's what I think this is. I think there's always going to be a use case for pilots. Always. But we're going to start seeing more drones. And so this effectively is the Royal Navy's way of saying, look, we know this is the direction we're going to go in, so why not start building ships to fit that criteria? And I think it's a brilliant idea. So let's look at this. This is the first kind of look I've seen of this ship with the drones on it as well.
Drones are transforming warfare and support ships for the world's navies. This is the multi-purpose support ship 9000 from International Ship.
Why do they have to say 9,000? It makes it sound like it's super futuristic. It's funny it said that. I've got a little bird feeder outside, right? You're going to laugh at this. I got a bird feeder outside and the squirrels keep getting it. The squirrels kept climbing up that pole and getting it. So I bought one of them, like, protectors. And my son's like, Silas, he comes up to me. He's like, Daddy, what's that? And I'm like, this, son, is the Squirrel Guard 3000. I feel like they've looked at this ship and they've just been like, drone aircraft carrier 9000. It's so stupid. Just give it a real name. It doesn't need 9,000.
Builders Damon Group. Designed mainly as a drone carrier for the deployment of UAVs, UUVs, and USVs.
Primarily.
Mainly as a drone.
Mainly as a drone carrier. So obviously there's a helo on the back there. So it can be used for other things apart from drones, which is interesting.
Drone carrier for the deployment of UAVs, UUVs, and USVs. It's also a support vessel for naval submarine rescue and diving operations, as well as helicopter and maritime safety operations and search and rescue missions.
It's not very big, is it? Compared to like aircraft carriers like HMS Ocean, massive bit of kit. This isn't that big, and it makes sense because it doesn't need that much room for a drone to take off. And if you're just going to have a helo on the back, you don't need a, you'll just need a small pad for it, don't you? Well, small. You need a pad for it. Not a massive ship, which is obviously very good for the costs, isn't it?
At 130 meters long and a top speed of 18 knots, it'll have a cruising speed range of 10,000 nautical miles. Aft and forward multi-mission drone bays will house fixed-wing and VTOL drones and special mission equipment. Add to that a helicopter hangar, flight deck, and drone runway, and you've got a very useful asset.
Do you know what? I really, really like this. In theory, this is a very, very useful bit of kit, isn't it? It's practical. It's got all the bells and whistles so that you can do some extra stuff if you want. But primarily, it's a drone carrier. And it's kind of cool. It's smaller, so the price is going to be less, although I'm sure there's a lot of technology in there. And it's a support vessel, right? Yes, it's got a gun on the front here, right? Is that the only gun it's got? It might have like they might put like mounted GPMGs on it and stuff just for anti-piracy. I can see him putting like a GPMG on the front here and a couple on the back and maybe something in the middle. So I was on a survey ship and it was only about 100 meters long. And we had 2 GPMGs on the front and back and 2 miniguns in the middle. And so there was enough firepower there to stop, idiots from trying to board the ship. I think it will have that as well, although it doesn't show it in this rendition. Is this a rendition or is this real? It must be a rendition. I don't think they've been made yet. I would have known if they'd been made already. And then, it's got this gun on the front here.
The ship will also be designed to have a 16-meter boarding boat, LCVP, or CB90 boat on each of its sides.
I like
Work
it.
is already underway on one of the multi-purpose ships in Romania for the Portuguese Navy.
Wow.
Expected to enter active service in the second half of 2026. Stuart Rumble, BFBS Forces News.
Interesting. That was do you know what? There's a lot of decisions the Royal Navy has been making recently, or the military in general have been making recently. They're a little bit, but this in particular is very interesting. Now, the article itself doesn't really have much more information on it, doesn't it? Does it? New support ship to feature drones, helicopters, and 60-meter boarding boats. 60-meter boarding boats on 60-meter boarding boat when the ship is, 130 meters? So they're going to have boarding boats that are nearly half the size of the actual ship. That's interesting. Or it says boarding boats, but I'm pretty sure in the video it said one boarding boat. Multi-purpose support ship 9000. MPSS 9000. Do you know what? I am all for this. I think this is a good direction to go. I think it's unique. I think it's got a great use case. I think that, if the Royal Navy had a couple of these to support some of their bigger ships, or at least some of their more aggressive ships, I think this is a absolutely fantastic direction to go. I really, really do. So these rails must like flip down, so I don't know how that would work if they had a GPMG. Also, this rendition here doesn't have a gun on the front like that one. This one at the back has a gun on the front. This one does not. And so I'm wondering how that works. If the back of this ship, I hope you can see my cursor. So you're talking if the boarding vessel is 60 meters long, that you're talking like all of that, which is very interesting if that's the case. This is going to be size of the living quarters. We're talking the galley, all that lot, right? Obviously, you've got the bridge. It's a very narrow bridge, and even that down here, like a lot of it is taken up by space for vehicles and aircraft. Or at least just the drones here. So, yeah, I'd love to... I'm very excited about this one. And again, I don't usually get excited for new equipment. I think there's been a couple of things I've been like, you know what, this is a great choice. The new KS, is it KS2? The new rifle that some of the Royal Marines are getting. Fantastic bit of kit. This is a great decision, I think, personally. It's like that cross between, you know, an aircraft carrier. You don't have to spend as much money as like a HMS Ocean. But you can get some good reconnaissance with it. You're not going to have much attack stuff, although in theory, you could put drones on that with bombs and stuff, couldn't you? But that's another story, innit? Interesting video. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I genuinely think this is brilliant. Let's see what some of the comments says. Looks like a baby version of HMS Ocean. Yep. That would be scary. A full-size aircraft carrier just for drones. This seems like a good idea. In particular, dipping sonar on drones seems like a good idea. This old computer gamer is getting carrier command vibes. What the news is missing is that originally this is a 100% Portuguese project designed and created by our Navy some 2 or 3 years ago. Interesting. The Navy proposed to our own naval builder, Westy. Is it Westy? To build it, but they declined, stating that it didn't have the necessary know-how to deliver. So an international tender was issued and Damen, D-A-M-E-N, won. They took the project and the right to promote it, while the catch would be building it for our Navy at somewhat discounted price. Not a bad deal, but still it's a pity it's not being built here and promoted as a 100% a Portuguese product. I agree with that. Like, it would have been nice for it to be built in the UK. You know, firstly, it's good for jobs, it's good for revenue and stuff like that. But secondly, it's a thing of pride, isn't it? You build something in the UK and it's for the Royal Navy. Surely they can build them a bit bigger so they can carry helicopters plus Royal Marines as well. That would be interesting. There is a helicopter pad on the back, though, so in theory, you could have a hangar in there for a handful of Royal Marines, right? I'd love to know what you think in the comment section down below. This is a fantastic bit of news. I think that it is, you know, one step in the future. We know how many issues are out there about the British military. I'm going to do a video on it very soon, but it's just little steps forward, isn't it? Let me know what you think in the comments. I will leave a link to the original video down below. And until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.